one soul has returned to the Father, it's like 1,000. It's better than silver and gold. So God bless you, man. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married, and the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good, or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombia.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒎.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. How you doing, everybody? Appreciate you tuning in today on this fine Wednesday it is. A truly fine Wednesday with Trump in the office. Pardon. We like this Anchor Baby, right? Please? Why am I sweating all of a sudden? Yes, please. Right, Trump? You like this Anchor Baby, right? Right? How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the show. We got plenty to get into on Trump Day 2. Other things I want to get into as well. I see all of you tuning in, rolling into the chat, and it's a pleasure to see you. A pleasure to be back on this Wednesday. And you can call me if you want to call the Anchor Baby here. 888-775-3773. How can he How can this guy be calling himself a baby? How can you be a man when you call yourself a baby? Shout out to whoever that was. And shout out to the Observer of Thoughts. What's up? 13. Play it so fast. What's up, everybody? Old names and new. We're live on YouTube. What's up, everybody? Over there on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby as well. Hello. DLive.tv/Gorgonzola. Nobody forgot you. You're there. How you doing? And, of course, punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. Many places to watch. So thanks, everybody, tuning in here. We're just getting everything situated. The lines are open and all that. And we're getting into Trump Day 2. And what would Jesus do? There's so many interesting conversations going around. So we're going to be going in and out into some of the news and the things that have been going on with all this, okay? Trump Day 2, it's been amazing. Are you tired of winning? Hey, you tired of winning yet? It's been a bit of a checklist of things that Trump said he'd do. So, Nit is out of the bunker. Sheer hubris. I know. I'm getting only day 2 and already anchor babies are getting too comfortable. We need the ice raids to come on strong. Where's the video? We need the footage. We need the footage. Top down coverage. Their hands behind, heads covered. Go, go, go. Get out, get out. You're under arrest. Bunch of little kids, little bambinos. No, Mr. Trump, no. But Biden said we could. So we're waiting for the footage. And it's a pleasure to have you all here, okay? So what else are we getting into? Look, plenty of stuff to get into, as well as some choice moments that people have been talking about. They're calling it an ogling. To ogle. I mean, what's the bar here? What's the standard? What counts as ogling, huh? Is it the way you stare, length, the amount of time you spend staring, or is it what you're staring at? I imagine, and I bet you it's a happy medium of this trifecta of factors. What you're looking at, how long you're looking at it, and what face you're making is what makes it an ogle versus a peek versus a look, a glance, a gander. You know what I mean? So we're going to get into stuff here. Plenty to get into. So welcome everybody again. Trump Day 2, what can I say? The biggest thing I think that I wanted to mention, considering this huge topic of immigration and what a mess it is. All the many angles we could talk about, we've talked about them all. The change in demographics, it's really mostly negatives, it seems, right? But there's one major aspect that is this pillar in this immigration thing, and it serves a couple of different use cases here, because what I'm talking about is catch and release. It's an interesting thing how the law has made something illegal, legal, but really what it's done, it's kicked the can down the road, and it's left the question of what do we do with these people? Should they be allowed? And how amorphous is the border? And just leave it for somebody else to answer. Catch and release. What a perfect unholy matrimony between the darkest and most self-interested parts of the Democrats and Republicans. Let me explain. As it stood before yesterday, let me stress, was the policy is you arrive to America, you cross illegally, you call home base, they pick you up, they tell you, hey, you shouldn't have done that. We'll give you a court date. We'll figure this out. What are you doing here? What do you want to do? Why you want to be here? We'll figure that out, but take this paper, make sure you arrive to this court date and you're going to follow the law, right? And They slap you off on your merry way. Catch and release. It's crazy. It's crazy. You can attribute countless millions of illegals, not to mention what they don't count, not to mention what's the gotaways and all this other stuff. And the lies about how big this population is of illegals. 20, what did they say? 11, 22 million. The same number for decades. Trump orders Border Patrol to immediately stop setting illegal migrants free in the U.S., New York Post writes. Catch and release is ended. You got to understand the shift. Can we call it a seismic? I feel like a journalist. The seismic shift buzzwords, but it really is. Migrants who are caught illegally crossing the U.S. border will no longer be set free in the U.S. while they await their immigration hearings. Instead, they'll be taken into custody until they can be deported. And that's how it goes. It's a great thing. It's one of the keys to a totally open border. You just catch them and release them. It's that insane. This change, they stipulated they're going to keep him in custody, right? But you got to understand that this is in concert with Remain in Mexico. With these two powers vested in me. No, with these two powers, with Remain in Mexico and Catch and Release being ended, you got yourself a pretty good deal. Now you don't have to worry about how much are you able to have in custody, because that was an issue with previous administrations, other Republicans, Bush and others. They all tried. We're going to fix the border. And some of them tried. They tried to end Catch and Release, but then they had to hold them all. And so they were like, okay, just release them anyways. We don't have enough space. So that's the story with Catch and Release. It's pretty major. It's pretty darn major. We're talking 8 million under Biden alone. Largely thanks to Catch and Release. It's that simple. It's that 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. Look at videos. Check this out. Footage out of somewhere and the border. And you know it is because they're speaking Mexican. Okay, they're speaking Spanish. Where is it? Come on, here we go. And they're out here. They're filming them where the policies have suddenly changed. It's all different. Suddenly the police here are acting brand new. What's going on here?
Beyond this point will result in the arrest, prosecution, and possible application of force. Advertencia. Esta es una área restringida federal. Fuera de los límites de personal no autorizado.
No crossing of, no unauthorized crossings of this federal area, I think he said. Attention, he's saying. No unauthorized crossings. Oh, my bad. My apologies, sir. I was crossing here unauthorized for 8 years.
Dará lugar a la detención, al procesamiento y la aplicación posible de la fuerza.
We will, I think he said, we will incarcerate you or detain you, and we may use force. Say we may use force, so don't play around.
Unauthorized entry or movement beyond this point will result in the arrest.
There you go. Well, there you go. So look at that. Isn't that interesting? It's like, dang, I didn't know it was that easy. You know, you hear about this. Oh, it's just such a mess. It's a crisis. It's a crisis. Who knew? A couple of swipes on a piece of paper. It's a little more than that. You know, someone with enough. It's a little more than that, but take this in. A couple of swipes of paper. You have the whole border acting different. Who knew it was that easy to take care of business? It's all, there's this notion with the government that it's just this crisis. It's so difficult, but all it's needed is the will. The will to make it happen, but also, I want to stress this, this become clear just watching Trump that this is true, that it requires not only the will, but it requires let's summarize it under true leadership to get all these different people to kind of agree. Because think about it, 2016, was he as hardcore with the executive orders? I can't quite remember, but he was all business. Let's get to the wall. And it was problems all the way. Why does it feel like there's already the challenge to the birthright citizenship stuff? The Democrat states are already doing their thing where it's like, this is unconstitutional. Like, par for the course, right? But it feels like, and maybe it's too early to say, it's day 2, but where's all the internal fights? I mean, they're already building the border, for example. DEI's ended right away. The gender thing, he's like, it's male and female. That's what it is. Too bad. So sad. The ICE raids, we'll see. They're happening, but we'll see what they say in the news. Affirmative action, the birthright citizenship. Again, maybe too early to say, but it seems like when you take in how all these different factions have aligned with Trump, the tech people, the liberals, these rhinos, all these people who you almost can't even believe they really support Trump, but they're cozying up to him. You understand that it takes a little bit more than will. It takes a little bit of leadership. So bada bing. That's it on that. H1 catch and release. Remain in Mexico. Look how easy it is to fix it. That's amazing. Are they saying the ICE raids are happening? I can't confirm if this video is real. Someone's got to help me, and I'm going to get to calls here. Thanks for the patience, 888-775-3773. But someone's got to let me know, because I can't find I can't find out if this is real. But the caption says, immigration came down on them at work. Is this the Trump effect?
Puta, les cayó migración acá al trabajo.
Pardon, he's swearing. They're all running out in their gear. He say, "Oh, damn, immigration came on them, and came down on them, and you got all these workers in
cayó migración
in garb, in workers' garb, running away.
Salió migración.
Salió inmigración.
Miren, les cayó migración. Les cayó
La
migración.
migra.
Muchachos, tengan cuidado.
Be careful.
Aquí anda migración ahorita.
Aquí anda inmigración. There's immigration afoot. ICE is afoot. Wow, amazing. There's there's protests happening. They're waving the Mexican flags out there. Protests happening. You know, again, you have to wonder, what does this all mean? Does this mean these people that a large swath of Mexicans in America, what? Are they just ignorant and don't realize difference between illegal, legal? They don't care. Is it just, does it show that a large swath of the Mexicans in America are quite immoral? They just okay with lawlessness, horrific, greedy people. I don't want to say it, but what are the people here supposed to do? You know what I mean? So that's a little bit of that. They're saying you got to have a bug out plan. You got to be ready. They got the TikToks going around saying, "Hey, ICE spotted in these areas. Be careful." It's so evil. They want to justify their crime because of feelings. I really want to stress that too. It's not even a tiny little point. It's really at the core of how people think, motivations and beliefs. Think about how your politics, even your politics. Think about your own life. What was the biggest influence to your politics and something like that? Let's keep the scope there. When you look at your life, you got red pilled. You were watching Ben Shapiro on YouTube. You were like, damn, no way. Abortion it looks like they don't know what they're talking about, or I don't know. Really think for a moment though. What was the biggest influence? More than facts, don't you think? It's if it's not God, it's some amorphous thing like truth or anyways, the point is, you see that people's motivations and beliefs are, the core of it is really emotion, feelings. Just saying. So, H-1B birthright, what's the update on that? What's going on? Here's a little thing on on the H-1B subreddits over there on Reddit. They're talking about it. And it's interesting to see their worries. They're saying it's not even worth it. If you can't be an H-1B and come to America, and your children can't, for example, let's say you can't have kids that become citizens, they're saying it's not even worth it. It's a lot more of a liability if it doesn't guarantee American citizenship. Imagine that. Think about how doing things the right way fixes all these other things downstream. Like, for example, this isn't that subreddit I'm talking about. They're saying it's already challenged. So they're talking about H-1B and birthright citizenship and its challenges, its recent challenges by Trump. They're talking about it and they're saying it's already challenged. It's up to the court now with how Roe v. Wade went. I'm not feeling super good about this. I'm thinking this could be the breaking point for many. No more birthright. So here's the response. My wife and I have decided to return to our home country. No matter how things play out here, if they're willing to go after birthright citizenship on day one, it's only a matter of time before H4EAD, whatever the heck that is, some other foreign visa thing, and others are on the chopping block too. For the time we have left, we're focusing on maximizing our financial assets. I've accepted the immigration as a privilege, not a right, and I'm choosing to make the most of it while I can. That means no more. That means no more mentoring or working on things like patents or writing technology standards. Just focusing on what directly benefits us financially from today. All right, well, you know, Trump says we need some of that really, really intelligent engineering and patent making, man, Reddit guy. But, but okay, fine, bye. I just find it interesting that I see what I'm getting at here, really. The whole point is I find it interesting how a good posture, what is it I'm trying to say? The right approach and right attitude can have so much of an effect before you even get to any of the nitty-gritties of legislation and H-1B and H-4EAD and the law says this about that. A guy in office that's like, we're gonna do things right, no more scams, reforms. You know, it orders things already by that on its own. And so a little bit more on this. H-1B, you know this if you've been watching the show, and how this became a big issue. There was an interesting moment recently with Trump, and I want to get into this. They asked him specifically about the H-1B debate, okay? Do you want to keep H-1Bs or get rid of them? And I want to play this response for you. There's something so refreshing about this. It's not all this secrecy. What does he think? Is he aligned with Elon? Is CNN right? What do I believe? And here he is just answering it matter-of-factly. I like both sides of the argument. And you may not like what he said, but he's at least talking about it plainly, matter-of-factly. It's so refreshing. I'm not in Twitter. I'm not at X threads trying to figure out what the man is thinking. And he's level-headed about it, and I love it.
President, there's been some debate within your orbit over whether or not to keep or eliminate H-1. President, there's been some debate within your orbit over whether or not to keep or eliminate H-1B visas. What's your position on that? Do you want to keep H-1Bs or do you want to get rid of them?
I like both sides of the argument, but I also like very competent people coming into our country, even if that involves them training and helping other people that may not have the qualifications they do. But I don't want to stop. And I'm not just talking about engineers. I'm talking about people at all levels. We want competent people coming into our country. And HB1, I know the program very well. I use the program. Maitre d's, wine, experts, even waiters, high quality waiters. You got to get the best people. Now, then you go into people like Larry, and he needs engineers, and Massa needs, and this gentleman needs engineers like nobody's ever needed engineers, right? So we have to have the quality people coming in. Now, by doing that, we're expanding businesses, and that takes care of everybody. So I'm sort of on both sides of the argument, but what I really do feel is that we have to let really competent people, great people come into our country, and we do that through the H-1 program.
So he answers, just, talks about it himself, and I'm glad he did that. I thought it was quite refreshing. Engineers, you got to have him. This guy is needed. We got to go to Mars, baby. I too, like I reported on this before, like arguments from both sides. I just want the right guy to have. He's talking about maitre d's and wine experts and waiters. I made a point of this too about when I last reported on this. I find that I'd like to hear the arguments on that. Why do we need cashiers, waiters? I'd like to know that. It seems to point to me. It seems to point to me that maybe, the anchor baby wouldn't get the immigration and worker policy, the radical policy that I'd like to see. But I'm glad Trump's handling this, and we'll see what happens with everything. I think he cares about the American worker, and he wants to see. It seems like he's also. I've described this concept before, and I think we're seeing it being spoken about quite plainly here by Trump. It's this. How do I put it? To put it plainly, and I think Musk actually put it plainly in one of his X tweets here, and it was his comparison of the NFL team, where America's an NFL team, but you know how some of these NFL teams have foreigners, or maybe soccer teams, but I think he was saying NFL, but you get foreigners, and you import your H-1B worker to make the whole team better. Everybody wins. How do you think you at home have enjoyed, even through all the homeless and all this crap? How can America be so wealthy that even the homeless people are fed, that you could be quite the degenerate and be pretty much fine? It's a little bit of this concept. Just think about it plainly like this, economically, numbers. I've made my deal about it, and I have some qualms about it. I don't know if they quite even see this correctly, the Elon Musks and the people who like to see GDP go up. I know it's good, but I don't know if they, Trump said, we need the most competent in all areas. And it's like, yes, but please, sir, can you please look into this and make sure that that's what's happening? Because in some cases I've seen that's not what's happening. They don't even care about the most competent. It's just money, bottom line. So just if we can make that, sure, that would be awesome. Where you really like when Elon Musk was on the back foot, everybody was yelling at him on X, and he was like, okay. I only meant the 1% of engineers. Let's keep that fire because it's like they were acquiescing there. They realized that they were wrong about something. Let's keep that up because that's what makes sense to me. Anyways, I'm nitpicking. That's a little bit about the H-1B and any updates on what's going on with that. Okay, so I want to get into some stuff. We're going to switch gears here on this whole topic. But I want to get to calls. I have some people waiting for me here, 888-775-3773. I'd like to hear what you guys got to say about it, super chats and all that. I want to get to Maddie, who I believe is calling me out of California. Maddie, thanks for calling me. You're on the air.
Hey, Nick.
What's up,
Maddie?
Maddie. Oh, What's up, Maddie? How you doing, Maddie? A pleasure to hear from you.
Oh, I'm still breathing.
Right on. How you been?
Well, I'm good. I've been, everything's all good.
I'm glad to hear it. I see you in the chat. Still to this day, it anchors me. It reminds me all is well.
Yeah, I know. But, yeah.
Nice.
Well, because Derek couldn't pronounce my name right, so I told him you would know me.
Nice. Yeah, well, I definitely do. That's how you spell it, Derek. I got it spelled correctly now.
Yeah. Well, I tried to tell him to pronounce it right, but I said, you guys would know who I am.
Big time. Well, make sure you give him a hard time.
Oh,
I'm
definitely.
Joking. I'm joking.
No, I ain't going to do that. So how you guys doing? I saw the fires in L.A. I was wondering if you guys were okay.
Oh, we're fine. I smell. I don't know if I'm driving and I'm smelling my car, or if I'm smelling, because I keep my car pretty nice. Or if I'm smelling literally wood smoke. I'm it's that much smoke. Last I heard of the fires, they were still burning in some cases, but we're fine. I'm fine. All is well on our end. The organization's grown. We're keeping it going, rocking and rolling. The network's growing, one foot after the other.
Well, I just wanted to make sure you guys were okay because, I live in California too, and I have family out there as well. So.
Well, thanks for looking out, Marty. Appreciate the check-in.
Yeah, and Feliz Año Nuevo too.
Big time. Back at you. And shout
All
out
right,
to
you
your
guys
mom.
Take care.
All right, take care.
All right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
A little check-in. What's up, Marty? Appreciate that. So, let's see here. Some super chats. I believe some super chats. 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 says, Nick, Joel called you gay. Whoa. When did that happen? You want to explain yourself, Joel? Chair's open, mic's open. Say it to my face. No, I was catching some of his show, and I got a little distracted, but I heard him say something about gay stuff and how everything's pretty gay. I don't know, maybe I'm included in everything. He's saying sorry. He's saying it's not personal. He's saying it might be true. Someone want to explain this to me? 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, thanks for the super chat. I'll have to podcast Joel Friday TV. Did he call everybody gay? Everybody gay. So you too, Kale. Have you ever had a gay thought? Let me ask you, Kale. Have you ever had a gay thought? What do you think? It maybe it's harder through the chat. It's funnier if maybe I had someone I was talking to. You were calling me. Chat, have you ever... Serious question, chat. Have you ever had a gay thought? Okay, I'll let y'all mull that over. Let's not leave too much dead air. Thanks, He Lazy. Appreciate the super chat. Says, he's right there. Incognito in the black outfit. Who? I'm lost, He Lazy. But thanks for the super chat. I will try and pay attention to the chat if you clarify. All thoughts are gay all the time. Yikes, Nick, stop. What? It's a question. It's a mere question. I'm having them right now about Kale. All thoughts are lies. Someone's ahead of the game. Me? Who's me? No. Answer the question. Don't play Jedi mind tricks. Answer the question. Have you ever had a gay thought? I'm fighting with my chat. If you're watching this and you're confused, if you watch this afterwards, they're trying to play Jedi mind tricks on me. They're saying, but me, who do you mean me? Me having a thought I've never had? Who's me? No Jedi mind tricks. Answer the question. I'll get back to you. Appreciate the super chats. Hey, Rumble. Thanks for the support, Rumble. Always. D-Live. Always there for me. What else here? Let's keep it moving. What would Jesus do? Think happy thoughts. That's funny. I'm asking you this because I would prank my friends. I would prank my friends, and I realized my prank was way deeper than I thought. It's in fact proof that gay is simply a thought. That's as deep as that identity goes. I am gay, they'll say. That's who I am. When it's just a thought. And I'll have my friends, I'll prank my buddies, hey, have you ever had a gay thought? They'll be like, no, I've never had a gay thought. Be like, think about Joe right now. They're like, no. They'll be like, think about him shirtless. Like, and then now, of course, I forced this thought in their mind. They're like, but I'm not gay, though. I'm not attracted to him. Okay, but now think about being attracted to him. Now you're gay. If you understand my insanity, you realize how silly this whole identity thing is and how you can overcome it. Anyways, what would Jesus do? Let's get to this. Look, I saw this. I came across this post, and they're talking about immigration, and they always come to this conclusion. There's always this fight, and inevitably, someone will come around, all smart. Maybe they'll even be a Christian themselves, but usually, sometimes they're not. There'll be some atheist or something, and they'll be like, "But Jesus, that doesn't seem very Christian." You'd be like, close the border, deport them. And they'll be like, oh, that's Doesn't sound very Christian and generous all of a sudden. You know what I mean? And they throw the Bible on you. They'll throw Christianity on you. It's pretty evil. Sometimes they'll be Christian themselves or whatever. And I guess at that point, they're just misunderstanding. But still, throwing this Bible on you to make you accept something, instead of just speaking to you honestly, like instead of thumping, they got some code, some other authority over you that they get to use over you, though. So in response to this news, Trump administration planning large-scale immigration raid in Chicago starting Tuesday morning. In response to this reporting, someone on X, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, who's, he says he's a Catholic. He says he's actually a Catholic theologian, chronicler of all things Catholic. This is a Catholic. Wow. That's a lot of that. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒏, and that's the Pope there. There's he is with the Pope. Very, very interesting. It'd be very interesting to have a chat with this Mr. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒏 with a degree in the theology. Oh no, divination degree. Is that what this means? Theology department at DePaul College Prep. It would be fascinating to have a conversation with him. He says, deeply troubling and disturbing, for I was a stranger, and then he quotes something here, for I was a stranger and you did not welcome me. Where have we heard that one, folks? Oh, he must have read Matthew 25. Oh, pardon me. Oh, no. Oh, excuse me. You read Matthew 25. My bad. There I go. Oh. My bad. Take all my money. I'll make sure to give everything to every homeless person I see. My apologies. I didn't read Matthew 25. And you get varying levels of this with these political conversations. Like, what would Jesus do? Doesn't the Statue of Liberty say something really beautiful? Isn't there some poetry on that thing? Right? Statue of Liberty poem. And that's like not even in the Bible. Give me you're tired, you're poor, you're huddled. They wrote that on that statue, man. So you got to let in unlimited immigrants. Ergo, Matthew 25, ergo, unlimited immigrants. Rape and raping and all that. No, but Matthew 25, bro. So check this out. In response to this, here's, I guess, a Christian responds with this. A good reminder, when Jesus said, love your neighbor 2,000 years ago, your neighbor, check this out. Hold on. You following me so far? They use Jesus to make this weird point that is, I guess, loosely related to self-sacrifice and generosity, okay? But can I pause? Can I leave? Can I paint a picture here? A quandary, a question for you. If you saw a man light himself on fire and then die for nothing, would you say that was a worthwhile or noble sacrifice? If, let's say, a man opens up his cellar, and in my hypothetical, everybody's in the medieval times for some reason, and he lets thieves take everything, is he generous or is something else going on, okay? Check this out, this response to some of this. Good reminder, when Jesus said, love your neighbor 2,000 years ago, your neighbor was literally your second cousin, because 99% of people lived in small villages where they were related to everyone. Telling people to love their neighbor 2,000 years ago is the equivalent of telling people to not be a D at the family reunion today. That's John Rivers here with some theological stuff there, translating the Bible, putting it in context, okay? Making it all make sense for us, right? It's like, oh, I could breathe easy. Whew. So for a second there, I thought I had to let in all these immigrants. Jesus, it was kind of making sense to me. Matthew 25 was starting to make sense. Whew. Good thing we had John Rivers here. And I'm being a little facetious or I'm just playing around because there's something, it feels a little bit like lucky, or how do I put this? It's like, really, I had to figure that out. I had to make sense intellectually that 2,000 years ago, this is what love meant. And 2,000 years later, we have to have an equivalency today. Like, really, I had to figure that out to say that something's wrong here. Why don't we put it simply? I think we could put it quite simply. We don't really have to jump around and say, well, when Jesus said this, he was talking to those people. I mean, in some cases that might be interesting. I've done that with Bible stuff. But let's slow down here. Let's check out Matthew 25 for a second and really understand the misunderstanding. Because they're reading this parable here, the sheep and the goats. When the Son, this is Matthew 25:31. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. You may have heard this one. All the nations will be gathered before him. He will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He'll put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, you looked after me. I was in prison, you came to visit me. And then the righteous will answer him. They basically said to him, like, when did that happen? When were you... Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? Like, what are you talking about? And the king responds, whatever you did to the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. And then the whole thing repeats for those on his left. But basically, when they say, "But what do you mean? I never saw you hungry out there," he's like, he says the exact same thing to the sheep. But you understand, in this case, they treated the least of him badly. And so now you got to let in infinity immigrants. Please, it's so take this in. The whole point of that story, I realize, is simply how deep is your love? Whoa, no. How deep is your love? Do you love all? That's all it is. Tell me where I'm wrong. 888-775-3773. Not are you generous? Not. What is this generosity, anyways? What is with this whole generosity? When I read Jesus, his message is a message of repentance, of looking at self and understanding, and of finding the kingdom within. He says, "Take up your cross." He says, "Take up your cross," and you want to go around and you see these people with their issues, and you're like, "Let me assuage your pain and give you food and give you stuff," and they're in hell. And you don't want them to take up their cross. He came to divide, and you're here, you're like, trying to make friends with everybody, kumbaya, feelings. And now you're not paying attention to yourself. He said to love your God with all your heart, your neighbor as yourself, love your enemies. So do you understand this? Many times love is the opposite of what we've been taught, what we feel. And they're totally misusing Matthew 25. It's about you. Matthew 25 is about you. And how deep is your love? Is it real? Because if it was real, you would treat the least of the king the same as the king. You understand this? Simplice. Come on, keep it simple. Don't go crazy. It's not infinity immigrants. Okay? Right? Tell me where I'm wrong. What would Jesus do? He'd tell him, what did he tell? Did he ever? He told people, like, what's up? He didn't just he healed people that needed it, right? A homeless person doesn't need healing. He needs that Jesus that told him, hey, you're a bag of bones or whatever. You know that Jesus? So what else about this? You know how it goes with this Christianity and all that. It's a religion. It's just thoughts. It's just words on a book. So you get stuff pretty easily like this. I'm sure you saw plenty of this. What's her name? Buddy? Mrs. Bishop here, Episcopalian. The so-called bishop who spoke at the National Prayer Service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way. She was nasty in tone and not compelling or smart. She failed to mention the large number of illegal migrants that came into our country and killed people. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutions. He's just giving her a little a little response there. Because I'm sure you saw the video. Maybe on the... Oh, in fact, here it is. Why don't we take a gander at, what's her name here? Marianne Edgar Budd, Episcopal Bishop. You know, the Episcopalians, I think they came from like the Church of England. What has happened to the English? My God.
I ask you to have mercy upon the people.
Wait, I got to get rid of Little Nick. You got to see the sign language lady.
I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families. Some who fear for their lives.
Jeez, laying it on thick.
The people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and...
Didn't that used to be an insult? Remember when they destroyed Kelly Clarkson for that? Was it Kelly Clarkson? No, that wasn't Kelly. What was her name? Wasn't it Kelly Clarkson? And she was like, yeah, who's going to clean? Yeah, this immigration and like deportation, that's pretty mean. What about who's going to clean our toilets and pick the crops or whatever? Remember? Or am I going nuts? Am I totally crazy? You remember when they destroyed her for that? You know, that was... And am I even thinking of the right person? Who's Ozzy Osbourne? No, Kelly Osbourne, right? I'm thinking of Kelly Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne's daughter. Kelly Osbourne. That's who I'm thinking of. Remember?
A lot of Latinos here in this country
Yo, this was big time no. This was...
agree that the immigration problem is a problem and it does need to be addressed and it does need to be fixed.
Interesting.
But making those comments, those racist comments, do not help.
And if you kick every
wow, riveting commentary.
Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that you know what I mean, like what I'm saying.
There's more jobs to be
in LA. They all.
And she's like on their side that cannibalized her right there. She's trying to make a point there. And is she factually incorrect? I don't know. I can't say, but riveting commentary from the ladies. Something must be done. Yes. And yay God. Okay. Just saying, man, that's like total moving of the goalposts. Like, dude, what do you guys even believe anymore?
Packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals. They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples.
Always watch that short hair, man.
I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities.
Have mercy. He's the most merciful guy ever. What are you talking about? He's like thinking about everybody. He could be, he's like, I'm going to be dictator. And everybody's saying, yeah. And he could totally be crazy. He could go like, he could turn up the heat. But he's being pretty, he's just doing the law, doing what he said not more than what he's been saying he's going to do, and just doing that. You know, he could totally be that. He could like rip up the Constitution and people be like, yeah, Trump, let's go. So he's pretty merciful.
Whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands.
Well, there's a lot of lands, lady, okay? There's a lot of land between us and them, okay? There's a lot of lands. Are you going to ask the same of them? There's plenty of land, okay? Hey, Egypt.
Find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land.
That always gets me, this nation of immigrants. Because maybe on some degree, you can even like, maybe you're like, yeah, it's ridiculous. But some part of you is like, but on a factual basis, yeah, it was a land of, you know, they really were all strangers at one point. But it's like, come on, do I need to paint this picture for you? It's like, do I need to paint it? How do I put this? You got these brave people. They cross the sea. They create this nation. They fight. They die. Multiple wars, civil war, and they're like, yes, we're a land. We were all strangers once too. And then like zoom like forward like a couple hundred years, and you got this guy, and he jumps over a line, and he goes, "We're a land of immigrants." You know, it's like, do I need to paint this picture for you? They're not all the same. So what else? That's that. She's going around doing interviews. She's doing the news. She's doing the news cycle. Spreading the word, right? This is the word, right? She's spreading the word, right? Is this the gospel?
And leave, as they say, leave the rest they could, and leave, as they say, leave the rest to God.
Bishop, predictably, you seem to strike a nerve. President Trump initially said yesterday it was, quote, not a good service, unquote. But overnight, he took to social media to say you were a, quote, radical left hardline Trump hater, unquote, that you brought the church into politics and that you owe your church and the public an apology. Now, given your role, it doesn't seem surprising that you would speak out for the marginalized, as anyone who's read the Bible and knows the path of Jesus. But do you think your message is being misconstrued and politicized?
Think about that one. Think about it. Little sticky there. You know, I don't know what kind of question that was. Kind of set you up.
Well, sure. Yeah. But
Oops.
I think if you read what I said, and I mean, how could it not be politicized, right? We're in a hyper-political climate. One of the things I caution about is the culture of contempt in which we live that immediately rushes to the worst possible interpretations of what people are saying and to put them in categories such as the ones you've just described. That's part of the air we breathe now. And
that is so nasty. That is so nasty. Think about that. Because this is supposed to be like a bishop. How do I put it? And not to say that it's worse because they have a different position. What I'm trying to say is you can't say, like, if this was all written down on a transcript of a court where there's like no emotion, you can't see anything, you wouldn't be able to say anything to her because she's saying, how can this not be... what did she say?
Interpretations of...
Oh, yeah. They're just taking the worst interpretations of what I'm saying. You know, I'm just asking him to be merciful to immigrants. You know, and I'm paraphrasing. I already forgot exactly how she said it. But that's so smarmy and hiding behind this legalistic defense of, but I didn't say anything. What? Me? What did I say? You know what I'm saying, right? Like, well, me? What did I say? And it's like, you know, and you know that you're laying on this, you're laying it on thick, your criticism of Trump.
No, and I was trying to speak.
And it's so female, because now I'm the guy who's like can't prove it. It's like, no, you're just mad. So now it's just a fight. That's why you should never fight. Never, ever, ever fight with her, fellas. Never fight, ladies, either. Never fight. Just don't fight. It's such an interesting hack. You don't have to fight. You really don't have to fight.
Describe. That's part of the air we breathe now. And I was trying to speak a truth that I felt needed to be said, but to do it in as respect.
She's like, oh, you guys, I don't know, you guys took the worst interpretation, but she's still saying something that needed to be said. So what is it? Something that needed to be said, or I don't know, well, you guys are just interpreting stuff.
Truth that I felt needed to be said.
A truth that needed to be said.
To do it in as respectful and kind a way as I could. And also to bring other voices into the conversation, which voices that had not been heard in the public space for some time.
So there you go. It's like so nasty. When you're a bishop, there's something about it. You're working in this spiritual work here, to be all like condescending and hiding your intentions. It's something so nasty about it. Last video. Let's move on from this. Whatever. Here she is. Okay, what is this? Oh, yeah. 2020. Oh, here she was all in the George Floyd thing. Check it out.
Their message. It is a message of a call for...
Their message. She's talking about the protesters.
Why did you want to come out here and send their message? It is a message of a call for justice, for swift justice for George Floyd, for systemic justice for all brown and black people who have been under the knee of this country in ways that we have witnessed time and again. This is wrong. And this rising up, this spontaneous uprising of people, mostly half my age or younger, they're the ones we should be listening to.
And they're angry at the president.
They're so angry.
They're angry at the president. So
what
is your...
There's your female Episcopalian priest. They're so angry. It's amazing. They're angry. You love it, don't you?
Message to President Trump today.
Well, he should... I've given up speaking to President Trump. We need to replace President Trump. We need leadership that will lead us in the ways that this country deserves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Brave. Trump? I don't hate Trump. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You don't have any proof. That's the little story there with Trump and the church, the Episcopalian bishop there. And he didn't put his hand on the Bible. What a mess. Will we ever have a Christian president? Some say blind people. What would Jesus do? So anyways, that's it on that. I don't think I have anything more. 888-775-3773. Not anything more on that church stuff. So that's that. Very cool. What are you guys saying in the chat? Oh, no. I've locked into someone's chat here. Don't look at the chat. Carver. He's saying, Nit used to say it was okay because it's after sundown. Now he just crude. Is this true? Oh, no. Did I do something crude just now? I didn't even notice. I'm really trying to think back. What's the crude? What did I do that was crude? Did I do something crude? Did I do or say something crude? I'm pretty good on swearing. Crudeness... innuendo, at least. I mean, I can be pretty... I think it's just because we let chat be cruder on Nit's show. Okay. Well, it's rated R, right? How Hake says. Amazing. I wonder if they will still wear masks in 2050, ask 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍�. You know what's an interesting thing? And I feel like I've heard this before, but it's worth repeating and fleshing out, because as the years have gone by, the whole mask thing, how some have adopted this as this continuous behavior, reveals something so interesting about people. And again, it goes back to like belief and what really motivates you. It's not facts. It's not real individualistic thinking and reason-based conclusions. It's like emotion, tradition, ritual, feeling. That is what orders people. It's so weird. It's so strange. And so for them, it's just a ritual of cleanliness and conformity, and they'll be wearing masks for years, my friend. And they may even be able to teach their kids such a thing. And that's how traditions are created. That's how cultures are created. Wow. Could it be that it's all just thoughts and demons and spirits? These cultures and identities where we are parlaying and interacting with a spiritual world, and maybe even a deception. And maybe that's why it's so difficult to remain objective and reasonable about things. It's like there are forces, spiritual forces, keeping us from it. For we may find out that these rituals and deceptions are what they are, lies. But anyways, not wearing your mask equals admitting you were wrong, something liberal women will never do. That's amazing. That's so true. Oh, incredible. So anyways, thanks for the super chats there. Appreciate the support. 888-775-3773. If you want to talk with the Anchor Baby, I want to get into something else. Busted. Uh-oh. We got our friend here, Mark Zuckerberg. Our friend here is busted. Uh-oh. You guys seen this? I saw this go around. This was on, I believe, inauguration night. And people have probably talked about it already, but it's so funny. Mark Zuckerberg, what I can gather is he was busted sneaking a peek. They're saying he ogled. They're saying he full-on ogled. The ogle that was caught on camera. Mark Zuckerberg. Eyes up, Zuck. My eyes are up here, Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg caught, according to the New York Post. They have the headlines. They got the serious reporting on this. Caught staring. Come on, New York Post. Don't do me like that. Is this just slow internet? The Zuck stare. Can we get it on X? Here it is. Uh-oh. What was that, Mr. Zuckerberg? We're going to need to roll back the footage. What was that? So you have something on your shirt there. No, nothing. What? 3 times. Ba-bing. Ba-booey. That's not a stare. That's a peep. Thank you. We have reasonable men in the chat. I appreciate the commentary on this because this is ridiculous. You seeing some of this? In fact, let me just search it up because I saw it all over. Mark Zuckerberg, Ogle. And it's like all the reporting, it's like, Ogle, Bill, and look, they're even saying other men are ogling. Joe Biden, Doug Emhoff, Bill Clinton, all married men, all were unable, all could not ogle, couldn't help themselves but ogle Carrie Underwood at Trump's inauguration. Full on. Oh, it's like, come on, really? I like how he smiles at Bezos right after. Yeah, it's like, I appreciate you realizing this is the reaction of someone subject to their physical reactions and then realizes his place. Okay, that is a man's wife. Okay, you should be looking for permission. That's what that is. It's both permission / mea culpa. Sorry, sir. I meant no harm, no disrespect. In fact, what I've looked at has left a smile on my face, sir. Congratulations. That's what that was. So there's Mark Zuckerberg. Can we call it an ogle? Come on. Look at them saying this about the other men at the inauguration. Doug Emhoff, Joe Biden. They're just oglers. Do we have the footage? Let's see here. Let's see if we can get some footage. Is it an ogle? Come on. I think we already know the answer, considering how these people exaggerate. An ogle, far from it. A peep. A gander. A glance. Okay? That's what it was. But, okay, this is an ad. This is an ad. Please, bear with me. Does she know she's an ad? Carrie Underwood. Where's the Ogle? We're not going to get the Ogle here, okay? So we're not going to try and search for it under this Daily Mail mess. But you understand that's the reporting on it. Mark Zuckerberg busted sneaking a peek, New York Post with some more accurate language and reporting, at Lauren Sanchez's in-your-face cleavage during Trump inauguration. I'm so glad that New York Post was also accurate with that part. In-your-face cleavage. Now, you know Lauren Sanchez a little bit. Not that I've reported on her at all, but you may know her as being the fiance. You know, I was going to say wife, but this is just her fiance. This is just Jeff Bezos' fiance, Lauren Sanchez. You know, Jeff Bezos had that one wife, his sweetheart, who wanted more. I don't know. I'm kind of adding to it. But what was her name? Jeff Bezos' first wife, who I can only gather. Now, this is, you know, I'm saying she wanted more. Like, okay, what do I know? That's just me adding to it. But here's something I'm not adding. I can only gather that she has anger, because as soon as she got the money from the divorce, she went right away to all sorts of causes. She ran right away to support all these causes to save these people. You know this woman has anger. You know this woman maybe read Matthew 25 and thinks she has the spirit. You know what I'm saying? She went right away, and it was like all these LGBT things. And what happened too? Jeff Bezos got buff and got this fiance, Lauren Sanchez. And you can, now I'm totally adding to it, but you can almost see how this Mackenzie woman was like, well, I'm going to support this. You want to be a man? You want to be a boy about it? I'm going to support the real stuff, like the LGBT and the people that need it. So there I go, totally adding to this marriage and divorce. But let's move on from that. Lauren Sanchez is this fiance. And you know, Lauren Sanchez, how do I put this? She strikes me as a woman that really likes showing her chest. How else do you want me to put it? You want me to be more politically correct in my language here? When I look at pictures of Lauren Sanchez, I don't know much about her, but there's maybe some things I could gather from her appearance, and I get the impression, it's just an impression, but I get the impression that she is really she's taken with expressing herself and letting the sisters breathe. I'm just saying. They say she's a classy lady. At least some people were. I don't know. I don't follow her. They say that she wore a racy inauguration outfit that so many didn't like, that she changed for the later part of the festivities. And that's where the Mark Zuckerberg moment happened. Post-wardrobe change. What was she wearing before? I believe it's this thing here. I guess this was racy. I guess I don't know anything, because I guess this was lingerie inspired. It might be a little too much. What do y'all think? But again, I guess, you know, I get the impression Lauren Sanchez is, there are certain things she likes. So where was I? Look, I'm just saying, what else can you gather from someone when they present themselves a certain way? They're obviously putting out some kind of message. Don't get mad at me. So when she changed her wardrobe and then wore this, people were saying it's classier. But help me understand how this is classier. Please, I must not understand something, because I see bra. I see full-on bustier. What is this? What is this? And tell me I'm wrong in my impression that Lauren Sanchez is a woman that really likes to expose her breasts. Shall I put it anymore? I'm done with it. I'm done. She's telling me that's what she likes to do. And now you got Mark Zuckerberg at the just subject to his own body, to his own reactions. The poor guy, he steals a little peek. And now it's like, oh, he's ogling. And then it's Doug and Joe, they're all ogling. It's like, ladies, please understand. Please understand the weakness of men. Please. So all this to say, you've understood that I'm not blaming Mark Zuckerberg too heavily. It's not an ogle, and it's more of a human reaction. So let's calm down a little bit. But I want to add a little bit. I want to add a little tidbit here. How do I put this? Because I am saying it's not wrong what he did. God, all right, ladies, it's not wrong. And I could be wrong with what I'm about to say. Tell me what you guys think, but I don't know if Trump will be caught doing that. You feel me? Like, please, like now ladies are going to take this like, yeah, that's what a real man is. Now you're going to judge your men. But I wonder if Trump would be caught like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if Trump would be caught like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has a little bit more control over such basic instincts. Trump's not a nerd. He's had all his fun, says CSS Element. Yeah, he acts like he's been here before, like Barron Trump, like his son. He's not all like Elon Musk, which, okay, he's excited. He means it. He's a nice guy, okay? I think he's a cool guy. He's a cool addition. But he's all like this. He's all like excited. Barron Trump acting like he's been there before. It's a little bit of that, you know what I mean? Trump not gonna be wearing a bustier under a blazer. It's like, am I off base here at all? I don't think so. Nit, you almost always wrong. Oh, never mind. Look, I don't think Trump will be caught like that. Zucker, he's, we're talking about basic instincts, what kind of man you are. Mark Zuckerberg didn't do anything wrong. It was a peep. It was a glance, not an ogle. Lauren Sanchez is clearly someone who is okay with this and is a certain individual that appreciates these things, and because look at how she dresses. And everybody left that part out of Oglegate, of Zuckerberg looking at Lauren Sanchez is, look at what Lauren Sanchez is wearing. I bet you everybody, I bet you that caused most people she walked by to have a reaction and just like glance down like, is she really wearing that? Oh, wow, that's her bra. Wow, that's cleavage. Okay, Lauren Sanchez. Anyways, have a nice day. I'm going to go look at my wife. You know what I mean? Like, like that's what happened. And I think Mark Zuckerberg is handling it well. All the news is saying he liked her photos on Instagram after this moment. Alpha Mark Zuckerberg. And is it proof that he's a human being? It might just be proof. If there's any proof, it's right here. Here it is. The linchpin, the key piece of evidence. Is he a robot? Is he a reptilian? Is he an alien? No, he's a dude. I think he's a dude. You know what I mean? So that's the story with Mark Zuckerberg. And that's it on that, okay? Appreciate that. Super chats here. Appreciate the super chats. We got He Lazy. Says with a super chat, and I think no message, but very generous. So thanks, He Lazy. He Lazy, is He Lazy the same person who used to be John Gawains? Please tell me. Please don't tell me that He Lazy and the changing of the name John Gawains. Please tell me the lazy part has nothing to do with the Gawains part. Please tell me that the lazy part of your new name has no relation and has had no effect on the Gawains part, Gawains part of your earlier name. Please let me know. Wishing you well in any time and tough times. Okay. So that's Zuckerberg. Let's keep it moving here. Billionaires, they love Trump, since we're talking about Zuckerberg. They love him. You remember, you saw that moment recently where this billionaire guy
you are winning.
pledged $100 billion to Trump. Masayoshi Son. CEO of SoftBank. They're making big shows. The big money's moving around. They're like, you know what? We're betting on America. And why? Because Trump is running it. Big news, amazing stuff. $100 billion. Trump, the ever cheeky and full of confidence dominator of the room, says, hey, make it $200 billion. Check it out. The effect of a man.
And promised. Well, Mr. President, last month I came to celebrate your winning and promised that we would invest $100 billion. And you told me, oh, Massa, go for 200.
Oh, Massa? Whoa. Oh, Massa? Calm down. You're in America.
Oh, Massa, go for 200. Now I came back with 500.
500 billion.
Because this is the, as you said yesterday, this is the beginning of golden age of America. This is one great example, I think. Right? We wouldn't have decided to do this.
I think so.
This is the beginning of golden age. We wouldn't have decided unless we won. And yesterday we agreed, we signed to make this happen.
That's great.
Because of this day.
Very nice.
So
incredible.
We would make this happen. We would immediately start deploying $100 billion with the goal of making $500 billion within next 4 years, within your term.
Incredible.
Right?
That's amazing.
Because of your success.
That's great. That's great to hear. The billionaires, they love them. They're betting on America. Trump is making it happen. It's cool. Masayoshi-san, appreciate your words there and your 500 billion. And this incoming golden age. It's very nice. The golden age. And what else here on the filler stuff? Elon, then we'll move on. Elon, the Nazi. They're really saying this. Every time something like this happens, I think to myself, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff people will call racist and go nuts about. But some things we're all going to just laugh about, obviously, right? Some things is just, duh, like, we're just going to move on and no one's going to go around saying, wow, this is a real Nazi. But then I remember that AOC is going around saying Republicans' support for a transgender, protecting women sports from the transgenders. It's all a big ploy. It's all a big ploy. It's legal so that they can inspect genitalia, they say. She's saying their stuff. And so, yeah, I remember that and I realized, no, people are just ready to fight, willing to believe lies. They want to believe lies. That's the crazy thing I realized, too. The people, they want to believe lies. That's the thing about it. It's like, oh, they're brainwashed and all that, but there's something deeper. When you talk to people, when you see how the public reacts to something like Elon Musk putting his arm up, you got to see that people want to be lied to. They're begging for it. They can't wait for something to make a little bit of sense and just adopt that. Something that assuages their fears, makes them feel right, confirms what they want to believe and what they want to deny. They're begging for it. They can't. They love lies, and they can't wait to hear them. I realize.
Hail the Fuhrer! Hail Hitler! Hail the Fuhrer! Hail Hitler!
So that's them comparing Elon Musk to, I guess, Nazis, literal Nazis, which is like, modern people in clothes. The Nazis are dead. There's no Nazi party. They're just cosplayers. And I'm sure maybe some of you have seen the Republican response on Fox News. They have all the compilation of videos of all these Democrats doing just this and varying degrees of a little bit like this, some of them going like that. Some of them full on like that. Just full on like that. Sometimes like that. Hail Hitler, he's they're saying they got the compilation and they're like, see, they're doing it too. They're just losing their minds because they just want to start a fight and they lie, and that's how the media is. But I just wanted to show that to you because they really are out there saying that he's a Nazi. See, he really is a Nazi. And it's such proof that people love lies. They can't wait to hear them. They can't wait to believe them. Bring it on. It's their favorite thing. Truly. So what else about this? And that's it with that, Elon and Nazis and all that. I did want to report on the big pardons, with Trump here. The sweeping pardons, as they're being called. I was trying to figure out if it was all of them. I was trying to figure out if every J6er was pardoned. And I was trying to get the exact information here. Although I can't, it seems to me, and I'll give you the proof here, it seems like the implication is there are a handful. Really very few. Why? I don't know. Maybe there's a good reason. I don't know. But there seems to be like almost none because the scope of this pardon is huge. It's sweeping, as they're calling it. And I want to give you the details here. The language is so they're saying, and Elon Musk is backing this, saying, hey, anybody who needs help with this, let me know. That you could go to that family members can go to incarcerated individuals right now and tell them you got to release them. You have to they're giving them papers that you can present, show them a copy of Trump's order. Charlie Kirk is saying this, saying just show them this. Like this, the pardon power is absolute and immediate. And the language itself should be enough to release them. There's Lives of TikTok is reporting some are not being so. Why is this guy refusing to honor Trump's pardons? In reference to something I'm not too aware, but seems to be this story here, this moment.
But no more. I'm giving you literally all I got. But no more are going to be released tonight, okay? And tomorrow is a brand new day. We'll see what tomorrow brings, okay? I'll probably be here with you, okay?
Talking about the release of prisoners, people online wondering, hey, why isn't this guy, following the pardon? It's immediate. It's
violation.
All powerful.
No, I was told no more tonight.
He's probably not lying about that. He probably is just following orders. Maybe, unless he's not just like a cop, he's a higher up. But he could be just saying, hey, they told me no more tonight. We're not releasing any more tonight. They may have a reason. Maybe unsafe to do so. There's so many. I don't know.
No more tonight, okay?
We trust you.
And tomorrow, I don't know. Okay?
But you heard the stories. You've heard the stories of these J6ers and the way they're treated. Trump himself talking about it. He's talked about it many times, how badly they've been treated. It's just wrong. In fact, he felt so strongly about that, they asked him recently, hey, one of these communist, like, underhanded questions, like the way Tim Kaine was asking Pete Hegseth when they were like, you would agree if someone who beat his wife, should be barred from Congress, right? Stuff like that. They asked Trump recently what he thinks about someone who beats cops. That's pretty bad, right? And he's like, yeah, sounds bad. And they're like, well, one of these J6ers that was released beat cops. What do you think about that? He's like, I don't know. But I'll tell you this. These people, the people incarcerated and all that have been treated terribly. So he made he made that clear himself to make that point. So I just wanted to express that to you. You know, I don't know what this cop is doing. I don't know what exactly is going on here, but it's not all. It could be all cool, but it really could not be. People that are treated badly for what? Because their government designated them as these enemies. And the only reason they even did that is because their true threat was their support was Trump and their support for Trump. They morphed law, they morphed definitions, stretched definitions, all for these politics. They spent countless decimated dollars, already inflated dollars. I hope you understand how inflation and the rising cost of living, it's like, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but let me give you the major big chunk, the only chunk you got to worry about, government spending. So all that money Biden's spending, it's like a big FU to you, especially when they say, hey, we're going to fix those prices. They were lying. So that's the J6ers. I wanted to give you more details on this because it's a sweeping pardon. They're offering their help for anyone who's having issues getting released. And yeah, it's official. President Trump has officially pardoned every J6er or 14 individuals who have received commutations, according to Revolver. The proclamation ends a grave national injustice, reads the proclamation from Trump, that has been perpetrated upon the American people over the last 4 years, acting pursuant to the grant of authority in Article 2, et cetera, commute the sentences of the following individuals. And it reads them out. Grant full, complete, and unconditional pardon to all other individuals convicted of offenses related to events that occurred at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. Attorney General shall administer and effectuate an immediate issuance of certificates of pardon to all individuals described. There you go. That's pretty amazing. It's been a couple of years. It's crazy for some of them. For some. And it's approximately 1,500. Now, I heard someone saying, and I don't know how true this is. I was trying to find information, and it seems like it may be at least marginally true in that there may be 1, 2, 5, 10, I don't know, but very, very few who didn't get their sentences commuted. And I don't know the reason. This person was saying, hey, they should all be released. I can't tell you why it is this way. Let me see if I can find it. But it seems to be, from all this reporting I'm reading, it's very, very few. The vast majority, a significant majority, almost all, basically, almost all of the J6 individuals have had their sentences commuted and all that. But yeah, that's it on that. January 6th and all that. That's crazy how some of them have been going through that for a while. I did want to mention that. Incredible. So what else here? Since we're talking Trump a bit still, since we're back on Trump, just little fire off some of these interesting moments recently and for Trump day 2, the things he's accomplished, the things he's at least put forth in an executive order, gotten the ball rolling on. I mean, day 2, you got to take this in just 2 days. Can you say that it can be challenged? Can you say that it can be undone? Can you say many things, I'm sure. But day 2, and it's like birthright citizenship. Bow. DEI. Missile silo strike. Affirmative action. Poison. Illegal immigration. the border, tanks everywhere, nukes at the ready. Gender ideology, whatever they call it, gender ideology. Trans people in the streets, apoplectic, crying. It's incredible. But, we'll get to all that. I want to get to Robert out of Kansas. How you doing, sir? Nice to hear from you. Go ahead.
Hey, Nick. Good to be on again.
Big time. Go ahead.
You said, yeah, brother, you said something about Elon throwing up a symbol and associating it with, did you say it was, I guess they said it was Nazi? I guess you didn't say that.
I didn't say that, no. And maybe I wasn't even that clear on my reporting. I forgot to say that how I saw it. It was how Elon put it. He was slapping his chest and giving his heart out to the public. If you watch the clip, that's what he says. I don't think so, but yeah, I was also expressing just how I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm a little surprised at how so many people saying it really is a Nazi salute, like a full-on Nazi salute. What do you think?
Okay, well, yeah, it definitely is associated with that now, but like if I, let's say I just saw you, Nick, we were, out there in California somewhere, and you were walking on the beach and I was walking on the beach, and I see you from a long ways away, and I hold my hand up like that, right? Like, what does that mean to you?
So let's say you were far away from me and I see you from a distance, and you just
and I'm like, hey,
you just stand up. Let's say there's no one around you even, or it doesn't even, it's not clear you're in a group, or maybe you are in a group. Details that don't matter. But I see you from a distance and you just suddenly stand up and you give out like your foot stamps, your hand goes up and everything. You're asking me what I would think if I saw that?
Well, no, if I just put my hand up to you like that, like let's say we were Native Americans,
yeah,
right? And you know the term how, right? Like you put your hand up and you say how, right? You show your hand to somebody, the palm of your hand, right? Like, do you know?
It seems like to me. I think I understand what you're asking me. I think if, in general, without thinking Hitler or anything, someone putting their hand like that to me is like either like allegiance or support or I see
like
you.
A wave.
Or what?
Like when we wave to people, like when you wave at
or a
somebody,
wave,
right?
or acknowledgement. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, but like
Big time.
like how we have how the U.S. military has a salute that is not the Roman salute, right? So
right.
It's kind of unsophisticated to call it a Nazi salute. It's a Roman salute, but then again, you could say, well, that's then now you're defining that as a Roman thing, right?
Right.
But yeah, as far as that salute that Elon did, right, where you put your hand up straight like that.
Yes.
Okay. Compared to our tradition, like the U.S. military salute, I was in the military, right? So what you do is that when you render salute, right, what you are doing, you as the inferior render salute to the superior.
I was
right?
just...
pardon. So you as the inferior render what?
You render salute to the superior. So what I'm doing, like when I take my hand and do like a normal U.S. Army salute, right? Like a normal salute. Like what I'm doing
it's like besides your head, right? It's not even like on your head.
Well, yeah.
I've always done that wrong. It's like besides your head,
like up to your eye.
Right.
Yeah, you put it like up to your eye, like up to your eyebrow or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not a Roman salute like Elon did. You're not putting your hand straight out.
Right.
You put it up to your head, like up to your face.
Yes.
Okay. So what you're doing, like what that is, so that people know what this means. This is important. This is why we do this in the entire military, right? What you're doing is you're showing a superior that you do not have what in your hand. Okay, now it used to be
a weapon,
traditionally.
Maybe.
Yeah. Traditionally, it was a spear or a sword. Traditionally, they wanted to see that you didn't have a spear or a sword in your hand, in your fighting hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the officer, the superior, whatever you call them, they could still have a weapon in their hand. It could be a pistol, right? So then you go ahead and show you don't have a weapon, and they can pull out their pistol from behind their back and just kill you.
Ah,
right?
You're like showing vulnerability as well.
No, you're showing.
Or making yourself open. Go on.
Well, when you salute, you're showing rank.
Yes.
Okay. But the point of like when you hold your hand up to somebody like that, if it's a Roman salute, if it's a traditional U.S. Army salute, if it's a wave to your neighbor, right? The point of what you're doing, if you're an Indian chief and you say how and you hold up your hand, okay, what you're saying to that other man is that you do not have a weapon, you do not intend him harm, and that you are at peace.
Wow, that's
what
cool.
It means. Yeah, that's what a salute means.
That's amazing. I love that.
Well, it's showing another man you're not hiding a weapon behind your back is what it is.
Right.
And
so to assign, assigning malice to a salute, it's like, why is this person saluting? You're making assumptions here.
You go back in history, and they have defined it as being a Nazi thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you go back farther, you see that it's a Roman thing. The Nazis adopted it from that. The Romans got it from where they got it from. I don't really.
This is a little different, right? Because whenever I see depictions of it, they're like, how do I put it? They're like, their hands are like this, but their bodies are like this too. So they're like this. It's like a straight. They're like the Romans are like this in the depictions I see. And then the fascists, what Google and Wikipedia say, their hands are like this. Oh, geez.
And so what is our modern version, Nick? Like if I were to walk up to you, let's say I finally make it to church someday, right? Like eventually I drive. I'm literally going to have to drive because I'm scared to fly, right?
Right.
So I drive out to California. I see you at church. What are we going to do? If I meet you, I say, hey, Nick.
Salute.
Well, no. We don't have to salute. What are we going to do? We're going to shake hands.
Right.
Okay, it's the same. It's not the same thing. A Roman salute is not like what we salute now in the military, and a shaking hands is not the same thing as a salute, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same thing as saying, "Here is my hand. There's nothing. I don't mean you harm, brother." Yes. So that's
absolutely, man.
That's all salutes have always been, and they turn it into like this. You know, if you say hi and you wave your hand at your neighbor, if you were to hold your hand still, all of a sudden you are a Nazi.
That's such a good point.
All it is
it's white hate, is what it is.
Yeah. It's what?
It's white hate, is what it is.
It is. It's a way to get everybody to hate all white people because of some narrative that is told in our education and media and stuff. So yeah. That's how you define all people as evil, is you say, oh, well, you know, they did that thing in history when, well, I don't want to go into that. That's
no, but it's true. That's how you're able to use history as a weapon and bash people with it and make them stop saying something and make them stop expressing themselves and make them stop saying something today, right now. And it's just using it as a false authority over someone else. It's what weak people do. It's what evil people do.
You see how they have like official victims, and then they kind of use those narratives to, you know, the people who ever are telling these narratives, right? The people who do control things. They'll use that about, let's say, women or blacks or other groups that, oh, well, they were victims of history, right? And so now, you know, you got to, well, they deserve land or reparations or some sort of, recourse that isn't, you know, fair to because it isn't true. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
And it's like you don't even have to go there.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go there. It's so simple. The guy slapped his chest and he's like, "Here's my heart out to you." It was a salute, like you said. It was there. It's you don't have to go there.
Well, the whole tradition, like as far as me being a veteran, actually in the government-trained U.S. military, a salute is a tradition of you salute to the higher rank. Now, if you're in certain conditions, maybe you don't. If you're in a combat zone, you might not want to tell the enemy that this is a superior officer. They'll target him.
Oh.
So there's certain things that you would not do maybe in combat. that you would do in a garrison situation where if you have a superior, an officer, not necessarily enlisted, we don't really do that. We're ready to fight no matter what. We're ready to fight each other all the time. So it doesn't matter if you have a weapon or not. But,
right.
For an officer, they want to feel secure that the troops haven't turned on them, and they need a signal that they're still in charge. And so you give them that, right? And as a warrior, you know that you can take that away at any time, as far as them being in charge of anything. But it's one of those things where you're saying to another man, hey, I don't have nothing in my hand, man. I have no sword, no spear, no gun, no knife, no weapons of mass destruction, whatever, right?
Loud and clear, Robert.
In my hand.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, have nothing in my hand. That's all it is. That's all that means. Okay.
No, totally. They add stuff to it, man. Robert, call me again. Appreciate your commentary.
See you later. See you later, Nate. Bye-bye.
Yep. 888-775-3773. Look, they really are. They love lies. People love lies. They can't wait to intellectualize this. Elon Musk's arm stretch was not a Roman salute. And this is a professor, apparently. This is a professor. Mr. Professor.
I was just putting up a piece about Elon Musk and his salute.
Musk. Yes.
I think he did it twice. And somebody said it wasn't a fascist salute, it was a Roman salute.
But the Romans were also fascists. Let's wait.
The Roman salute, first of all, was a contrived bit of history.
Contrived,
which goes
you say?
back to paintings in the 18th century.
Okay, that's an interesting point. He's just saying the Roman salute, even what we understand. Is that what he's saying? Let me shut up and listen. But I gather he's saying the Roman salute, as we call it today, even that is just contrived from just paintings we saw. We don't really know if there was this Roman salute.
It was a contrived bit of history, which goes back to paintings in the 18th century. But secondly, the Roman salute was the source of the fascist salute. I think it was adopted in.
So I freaking called it before he even said it. The Romans were fascists themselves.
They were the mid 1920s by Mussolini. Now I have an entertaining story to tell here, because when I was at school and being taught Latin as a very small boy,
I was
Latin
just a
teacher,
small
who
boy,
was about the size of a maniacal leprechaun, a particularly nasty leprechaun who liked hitting children and sending them off to be beaten, and it was a thoroughly nasty piece of work. I was taught very well, by the way. He was a very efficient teacher, but he was a monster.
Today, Junior.
And when he came into the classroom, we all had to stand up and give him a Roman salute. So we were standing with our arms up, saying "Salve Magister," and he
Salve Magister, Salve Magister. What does that mean? Salve. That probably means save something. Salve Magister. Oh, that's probably teacher. Salve Magister means hello, teacher. Oh. Roman salutes when the teacher comes in.
Salute. So we were standing with our arms up saying "Salve Magister," and he would say 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎.
That's awesome.
Hail to you, boys, and sit down. And we all sat down obediently. And we were all told.
Sounds like fascism is pretty cool. Okay.
Between a fascist salute and a Roman salute. And I wasn't taken in then, and I'm not taken in now. And the people who want to suggest that, frankly, are living in the same sort of fairyland as Mr. Galway and his enablers. So that is a nonsense.
So there you go. There's your academic on the Roman salute. Don't you know? But Mussolini, his He cited the Romans as inspiration for his fascism, so it must be fascist. It's all fascist. The Roman salute. It's very fascist. They're all fascists. And Mr. Galway, he didn't know what he was talking about. I was smarter than him as his boy. As a young boy, he didn't know. He was an enabler of the fascists. And I know I'm being facetious and just talking like blah, 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 just talking. But I'm trying, so far, tell me where I'm wrong. If I've summarized his points, so the only point he's made is connecting, trying to draw a line from Rome to Mussolini to fascism. It's not too strong of an argument. So I'm not being too rude, am I?
That is a nonsense.
That does look like a fat Robin Williams. Whoa.
Just to put that one to bed. And if Elon Musk were to do his arm stretching in Germany, he would be arrested. In no doubt. There's no doubt at all about it. Maybe he wants to demonstrate.
And that is why it's wrong, because it is the law. And the law says it is illegal in Germany. So that is why it is racist, okay? It's this reflexive looking at laws, of modern laws, to somehow express morality. I found some of this when I was reporting on Letitia James, for example, yesterday. The 22 states and Letitia James, they got their big old challenge to the birthright citizenship thing that Trump is doing. They're saying it's constitutional. But you can't challenge birthright. It's constitutional. But their evidence for constitution, their level of constitutionality, if that's a word, is their proof is the 14th Amendment, which itself was like an amendment. You understand? They're like, you can't change the Constitution. Look, you can't change the Constitution. Look at this change of the Constitution back in the day as proof why you can't change the Constitution. And other reasons, but it's this reflexive, circular reasoning. It's not very smart. It's quite dumb. But this is I find this a lot with the intellectual academic reasoning. It's circular and self-referential. It's strange.
In Germany, he would be arrested. In no doubt. There's no doubt at all about it. Maybe he wants to demonstrate the freedom of Twitter. Maybe he, as Trump says that he's going to be standing against violence, imprisoning people who are violent, and then lets so many of them out just because they happen to support his ideals. That's called populism, and that also can go back to ancient Rome. That can go back to ancient Rome, unlike the salute, which is questionable.
So yeah, seems like maybe like he knows stuff. Like he seems to know stuff. This whole idea of the Roman salute, like we may have, that's just from an 18th century painting. Like what do you? But it's like, man, you're not making this okay? Populism. Well, guess what? You can connect that to Rome too. Ergo bad. That's all he said so far. There's no real argument here. He maybe made one with that, but it's quite weak. Tell me where I'm wrong.
His ideals. That's called populism, and that also can go back to ancient Rome. That can go back to ancient Rome, unlike the salute, which is questionable.
See, you don't need to have degrees. You can make your own. Look, I'm just hearing him out and responding. You know what I mean? Like, anyways.
But and that is the work of Clodius and all the nonsensical populari at the end of the fading of the Roman Republic, who adopted silly accents because they thought it made them sound one of the people, one of the plebs, and they promoted factions of thugs to attack the judges and the juries that they didn't support.
But how is the salute fascist? How is it what you're saying it is?
That is what.
And how is Elon Musk's arm stretch?
Populism is. Populism is.
This is sad. It's like pathetic intellectual walking around, but this is racist and it's just morally wrong. And it's like Britain is a mess, and there, you know what I mean? Mohammed is like the #1 name in London, but you know it's just not morally correct, and it's just not a Roman salute. Elon derangement syndrome. many such cases. Well, appreciate that, Professor Tim Wilson. Thank you for that. We got a couple of super chats here in the last few minutes of the show. We are winding it down. And I appreciate all the support. We got one from CSAL. Well, we got a happy birthday in the chat. Bingo. Happy birthday, Sweet Amy. It's Sweet Amy's birthday. Is this true? Is she here? Is she receiving the happy birthdays? Thank you, CSAL, for the super chat, the support, and sending out a little happy birthday love to Sweet Amy. Give her some in the chat, folks. Don't be rude. Show some decorum, or else you don't get any birthday cake. That's how it goes. You gotta at least sing happy birthday. So sing her a little happy birthday in the chat. Thank you, He Lazy, for all that support. Kale Samogi from Super Chat says, people are not deceived involuntarily. So true, Nick. Yeah, Kale, I think you see what I'm seeing. They love it. They're asking for it. They're welcome it. They can't wait to be deceived. He Lazy with one more super chat says, the salute was totally NASA friendly. You know what? I'll take your word for it, He Lazy. Thanks for the support, everybody. And right on 706 over there, Rumble, all the D-Live people. Thank you, everybody. Very cool. And I think that's all the support here. Let's see. Hold up. buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Maybe you don't want to give YouTube 30%. I have options. I do have options. You could Cash App. I think I have that available. If not, I will tomorrow. But yeah, buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. I forget to mention that, but it is kind of important. Do what you was convenient and support how you can, but some people care about the details. Some people care about these little details, like 30% to YouTube. What are you getting, Nick? Buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Buymeacoffee.com, or why not just buy some coffee? You know, what a perfect segue. You guys know how I love segues. Look at this. Look at this. It's so exciting. You know, we worked hard on this, and I'm happy to mention it again. I heard everybody mention the coffee on their shows. We selling coffee now, baby. Bond is selling coffee now. We coffee sellers now. No. But it is amazing. We put our heads together. We're like, what do we do? How do we, you know, this stuff costs money. We run on donos, and it's amazing. We're blessed. But how can we give back? How can we synergize this relationship with the folks? And we said, how about coffee? Let's pick one, coffee. And we're like, okay, but at least good coffee. Let's do at least good coffee. And I am not a coffee drinker. So I'm like, how do I figure this out? Let me find coffee drinkers. Let me find multiple people I trust. And we put in the work, the legwork, and it's amazing because we ended up with great coffee. Not just good, we ended up with great coffee. Like, I could say that. Punchy's Coffee. Rebuildingtheman.com/stores. You could buy a bag, support Bond. You already drink coffee, right? Let's say you already drink coffee. Let's all have coffee in the morning. Like, I don't even drink coffee, but I'm gonna have coffee with you guys in the morning. I know Jesse will have some. Imagine pouring up some coffee at 6 a.m. Pacific time on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. You can get ground, whole bean, and oh man, try that whole bean stuff. You know, I don't know, like, you guys laugh. You guys might laugh. The real coffee drinkers, like, you guys have a whole ritual. You guys know everything. Like, the farthest I've gone is grind up some whole beans. Like, wow, so difficult. But that is enough. And if you wanted a little something extra in your coffee life, and the ground is amazing. It's all fresh roasted. The ground stuff is amazing, but grinding up some bean has been pretty cool. I invite you to try it yourself. I invite you to try grinding it up again. Getting the fresh bean tastes like that too. All right, y'all. That's the coffee. All right. Rebuildingtheman.com/stores. I have a great coffee machine. See, we got coffee. We got the people that know coffee in the chat. You guys let us know. Let me know. Hit me up. What do you think? Buy a bag. Tell me what you think. And really try the whole bean to get, and tell me what you think about the full flavor of the whole thing. at its purest, in its purest form. C-Sal says, Nick, tell them there's a 50% discount if you subscribe monthly. Is that true? Is my viewer more informed than I? This is incredible information. C-Sal, rebuildingtheman.com/stores. We are doing this live. Are you a monthly subscriber? Is that why you're telling me this, C-Sal? That's amazing. Monthly subscribers already? This is fantastic. We're on the JesseLeePeterson.shop. I'm loading up. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Subscribe and save. Folks, you want to support Bond? You already drink coffee. You want to support Bond? And you want to save some money? Go on the store and don't forget to click the little subscription. Check it out. Subscribe and save. 15% off. Deliver every 4 weeks. 10% off if you deliver every 6 weeks. Options, folks. Look, we got the team on it. The heads have hunkered down to provide this. That's the coffee. All right, y'all. What can I say? That's the show. We did the topics, the calls, the super chats. We squeezed every drop out of that bean. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I'm out. That's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Thursday has come upon us so quick already. Bible Thumper Thursday and more. The last day for Joel. Always good Friday shows for Joel on Thursday. And then American Anchor, after Hake and all that, American Anchor, baby. I'll be back. Don't worry. But bye for now. Take care. I shall see you tomorrow. Bye. Little Nick, too. He's got to say bye. Bye.